Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Two Dumb Yinzers. This is episode 190. Big stuff over the weekend. You know what? Last week there was nothing that could have went right. This week in the sports world, there was nothing that could have went wrong. A lot of stuff today, Mike. We got Steelers, we got Pitt, we got Penn State, hockey, all kind of stuff. How you doing, man? How was your weekend?
Oh, I'm doing great. My weekend was awesome because, like you said, man, every team that you and I root for won.
Yes, and it was especially tough after last weekend. I think every team that we root for lost. So, I mean, it was a nice change of pace. And you know what? There was a lot of really good football games this weekend. Like there was overtimes, there was top teams winning and losing. I'm sorry. It was just, if you like football, this was a great weekend for you.
It was, too. We had, like you said, overtime game. I'm sure we'll probably touch on it, but my God, the catch of the year. We had a couple catches of the year candidates, and I think we might have one that beat George Pickens.
Yeah,
man. It was just a wild weekend. AFC East in flux. It's just teams that you thought would be good or bad. Bad teams are good. I'm loving it. Total chaos in the NFL.
Yes. We love the chaos. If we can't be at the top of the game, if we can't be at the top of the food chain, I want to see chaos in the league.
Exactly, because I don't want us to be the only historically good franchise that looks like poo.
That's right. And you know what? A lot of teams helped us out this week. Like I said, so much stuff going on. Mike, I'm going to go over just some of the more minor sports stuff, and then we'll work into the Steelers because I know you have a lot to say.
Yes, I always have a lot to say about my Steelers.
All right, so we're going to start out with some hockey. Let's get on to the ice, Mike. Over the weekend, the Penguins played 2 times. On Friday, they played the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then on Saturday night, they traveled to Montreal to play the Canadiens. They did on the first night. They got the win. They won 4-2 over Montreal. And then the Saturday night game, it went to overtime. We weren't as lucky. We didn't get the win there. We got the overtime point. So it's not the worst thing in the world. 3 out of 4 total points over the weekend. Penguins finally, they shifting their way back into some decent hockey.
I think so. This team's too talented to keep playing the way they were, to keep getting the results that they were. They're going to find their way. They're going to make the playoffs again, and hopefully by then, they battle through all this stuff because a lot of the players on this team, Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Dumoulin, Rust, Gensel, they've been through these types, long seasons, playoff runs. They know how to adjust and play. A couple of the other guys on here have been, playoffs on other teams, so that they'll sort it out. They'll figure it out once they go along. But I think this season is going to be like an up and down type season.
Yeah,
it is what it is. They are what they are. A lot of old dogs on this team try hard to teach them a new trick.
Absolutely.
So it's just going to be a fun but yet frustrating season for Penguin fans.
I think so too. We're right now. Off the top, we're sitting here after 15 games. We're sitting at 6-6-3. Could be a lot worse. Could be a lot better. With the Toronto Maple Leafs coming to town tomorrow night with a possible chance of seeing Matt Murray in goal, Mike.
I saw that. He's excited to play his former team, not like in that arrogant way, just like, hey, it's always fun to play against your former team.
Absolutely.
But they went against each other in practice all the time, so it's going to be a fun game to watch. I hope he does play.
Stanley Cups together.
Yeah, won 2 Stanley Cups. Without him, they don't win those cups.
You're right.
Without him and Fleury and net, they don't win. It's just sad to see the way his career went, because you thought this guy is going to be, there's only like his second 2 years in the league, 2 Stanley Cups. You thought this guy was going to be a cornerstone goaltender. That's why, what went down with Fleury is, we had a jettison salary. All right, we're going to get rid of Fleury. We're going to have Murray. He's going to be here the next 10 years.
Right.
And, high glove side, man.
Yeah.
It's the yips for him, man. He can't get over it. For some odd reason, for as good as he is that high glove side, man.
Yeah, so hopefully we can work that high glove side to our advantage tomorrow
Hopefully.
night again as the Toronto Maple Leafs come to town. Mike, college football this weekend, a lot of good stuff going on. We our Pennsylvania teams, Pitt and Penn State, who we're going to talk about, First Pitt, they had won 37-7 over Virginia. Mike, Virginia, um, with the win, the Pitt Panthers get their sixth win, so that makes them bowl eligible. If they win out, that looks like they're more than likely going to play the Pinstripe Bowl up in New York at Yankee Stadium against the Big Ten team, Mike. So that might be interesting to see who they get from the Big Ten. And then if they don't win out, if they win one, win two, there are a couple other bowls that they are, considered for. But I personally would like to see the Pinstripe Bowl. It's not even out of the question that I would go up there just to watch this game.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to take my trip to New York recently, and I think that would be a lot of fun getting up there to go into the Yankee Stadium and seeing Pitt play. But yes, 37-7, Mike, 37-7. They play Duke at home this coming Saturday at noon.
That's a game they should win, and if they start the way they did against Virginia.
Would they have 14 points in the first 14 seconds?
16 seconds. Because that was wild, man. We turned the game on late. I'm like, wait a sec. It can't be 16-0 or 14-0 already. It was like 16 seconds in. And they showed the highlights.
Absolutely.
I'm like, okay, a pick six, and I thought they kept showing the same highlight over and over. I'm like, where'd the second touchdown come from?
Yes, MJ Devonshire takes the first one to the house, and I can't recall the other fellow. But here is an interesting stat about the Pitt secondary, Mike. Pitt is the only team in the FBS to have multiple players with multiple pick sixes.
That's insane.
Their defense is tough, man.
They do have a good defense.
Absolutely, man. I think last week they had 6 sacks. This week they had 8 sacks, or vice versa. Defense is keeping these guys in games. Obviously, you're sitting at 6-4. You're not having the best season ever. And that's, I think, mainly because of our quarterback situation. But besides for quarterback, Pitt has a pretty nice team all around.
They do. And I thought they would be a lot better than what they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, you lost Kenny Pickett, who had a damn good year last year. You lose Addison.
Yeah.
But you figured, okay, there had to be pieces around. And, Bandit Kandai, man, he's just running all over everyone. It's the quarterback play, man. It's quarterback play.
Absolutely.
And
it's wild. It's just wild, like I was saying last week, that the fact that this guy puts up 58 touchdowns in USC, and he comes here and he looks like he's starting over every single time he comes on the field.
Yeah.
It's like his first time out there. And that's what's really frustrating about him. And, and he, I think, is ultimately the reason why we weren't able to, win those earlier games that we needed to win.
Mm-hmm.
We do have 2 totally winnable games the rest of the way. Again, like I said, Duke this coming week at noon, and then the following week we finish up against Miami, who is having a less than stellar season. So I believe that both of these games are totally winnable.
They should be, and I think the rest of the way, man, just hand the ball off, just run it, run, a Bandit Kandai had 17 touchdowns this year.
Yeah,
17. Your quarterbacks have 8 combined.
They have a general Pittsburgh football team. They got good defense. They run the ball well. In the quarterback situation, with the exception of Ben Roethlisberger over the past 40 years, we haven't really had that quarterback. So, I mean, this is, it's a Pittsburgh team. I'm not surprised.
It is.
It just is what it is. And you know what? I'm fine with that. North Carolina, in fact, did win, though. They did win the ACC Coastal the other night, Mike, with their win. So they do have that locked up. More than likely they're going to be, seeing Clemson. So
yeah, that's what. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to overtake Clemson. They're 9-1 in the conference. Next place is Florida State. They're 7-3 in that conference. I don't see. Clemson has Miami, South Carolina, and then finishing up 15th ranked North Carolina.
Yeah, right.
So it's like they're going to play each other, then play each other again a week later.
Absolutely, that's going to be. I think that's going to be interesting because North Carolina, like I said, they did win the Coastal. With the win yesterday, they puts them 2 games over Pitt, and of course they beat us head to head, so there's no way of getting that back.
Yeah,
but I do think the back-to-back weeks of North Carolina and Clemson should be really good football games, Mike. And I think North Carolina may win one of them. They're just they're good, and I don't think Clemson is as good as their ranking says. But you know what? They're 9-1. Only time will tell.
Yeah, I'm just not impressed overall with that Clemson team. They got some good players on there, man. They have some good defensive players. I think, again, quarterback play is holding them back.
Absolutely.
I mean, I thought DJ Uiagalelei would be a lot better than what he is this year.
Yeah,
and he's been a disappointment to me.
Mike, let's take a little ride. Let's hop in the car and ride over to Happy Valley over the weekend, Mike. Also, the Maryland Terps take a trip to central Pennsylvania to play the Penn State Nittany Lions. And the Nittany Lions, you know what? Maryland might as well not even came.
Yeah.
They got shut out. It was 30-0. 30-0. Great game
Mm-hmm.
if you're a Penn State fan. I like what the running backs are doing.
Oh, yeah.
And Penn State, that win takes them up to number 11, Mike. Number 11. You got 2 games left. Next week is against Rutgers at Rutgers.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday 3:30 game. So if if Penn State beats the Rutgers, and I'm not sure who they have after
We
that,
close out Michigan State.
Michigan State totally winnable. So
Yeah.
you beat Rutgers and you beat Michigan State. Maybe have a couple of these top 10 teams. People have been dropping the ball all year, dropping out of the top 10, dropping out of. So, we're not talking national championship, but on the other hand, we are talking a pretty damn good bowl game.
Oh, yeah.
One of the New Year 5, probably. And you know what? As far as what Penn State's doing right now, you got to be happy with that.
I am. Again, that's great running game, damn good defense, and then quarterback play.
Absolutely.
It's like, you look at Sean Clifford's stats, almost 2,200 yards, 17 touchdowns, 7 picks. But you watch him play, you're wondering, like, why doesn't he have more interceptions?
Right.
Some of his decision making for being there as long as he has been there, it just boggles the mind. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But thankfully, Nick Singleton and Katrin Allen have just come out of nowhere and just dominated between them. They have 1,400 yards rushing, 18 touchdowns between the two of them. I believe they are both true freshmen.
You know what I thought looked badass? They had the whiteout game last week, or the week before, whatever it was. You know what would look cool? You know how the whole entire stadium is whited out?
Uh-huh.
If they wore their white uniforms at home, kind of like the Cowboys
Yeah.
do in their home game, I think that would just add to it so much because the other team, their eyes would be so fucked up because every
trying to figure out
thing you're looking at is just bright white. And I just think that would look cool and make have all the coaches have white jackets.
Yeah, just everyone like a true white.
Yes, because that plays with your head, man, and I just thought that would look cool.
It would look cool. This team is just if they had a quarterback.
You know what? I like their chances in the bowl too because the only 2 teams they lost to were top 5 teams in Michigan and Ohio State. So they're not going to play those teams in their bowl game. Those teams are doing different things. So you got to like what Penn State's doing. You finish up the game against Rutgers. You finish up against Michigan State. Take a month off. Play somebody who's probably pretty beatable.
Mm-hmm.
That's an 11-2 season.
I would take that because like that Michigan game, just throw that one out the window because that one was bad.
Yeah.
From the opening play on it, that game was bad. That they just ran all over Penn State. But that Ohio State game, that game was close for the last 5-10 minutes of the game. It was a toss up. Like Penn State was leading, and then just Ohio State was just a little bit better.
Right.
But I think once again, if we had a better quarterback, Penn State pulls that one out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to sound like I'm shitting all over Sean Clifford. He has the most passing yards in Penn State history. He's made key plays. He made some boneheaded plays, but he is what he is. He's not gonna guide you to a national championship, but he'll guide you to wins. You just wish he would produce more. Every interview I've seen him in, heard him in, he seems like that okay guy. You don't hate him as a human being, as a person. Just as a quarterback, he frustrates you.
Yeah,
because you see he's make plays. You're like, yes, let's do this. Let's keep doing this, and then we're like 4 or 5 boneheaded plays on the way. Like, what were you thinking there? Who did you see open? Why did you scramble here? Why did you do this? You're making my brain hurt.
I like him. I think that he has a spot. I think he's gonna go to the NFL. And maybe have a backup career, something like that. He's not the worst guy in the world. I think there's guys in the league, and I know there's worse guys that came out of Pitt that ended up getting nice backup roles in the league. Some of these guys, and Nate Peterman. That
yeah, that's true. If Peterman can survive in the league for a while,
I'm saying, and there's a handful of them. Like if you look back at quarterbacks over the past 10, 15 years from Pitt, there's a handful that did make it to the NFL and. Like I said, had pretty decent backup roles. So I think there's no reason that Sean Clifford can't at least take on that. But you know what? Only time will tell. And like I said, they have 2 games and a bowl game left. So, wish them hope the best. Hope the best for the Nittany Lions. Mike, let's raise the stakes a little bit, go to the NFL. Tonight, everybody. Tonight, Monday Night Football, everybody. The Washington football team is taking on the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly tonight at 8:15. I don't see this being a good game at all. I can't imagine how this could ever be a good game. Watch Washington come out and upset Philadelphia. It would be the greatest thing ever. But you know what? How the fuck would that happen?
I know, right?
I see Philadelphia handling Washington.
They're Washington's 11-point underdog.
Yeah.
They have less than a 17% matchup predictor on ESPN to win. So if they pull it out, it would be a pretty big upset. But I don't see Carson Wentz leading the upset victory.
Yeah, neither do I. It's going to be fun. Like I said, all the games this weekend were a lot of fun to watch. A lot of cool stuff happened, crazy stuff. And I don't imagine that tonight will be any different. So everybody check that out. Monday Night Football. Back at it. Mike, let's talk about the important things in the NFL, huh?
Yes.
Most important things in the NFL this weekend. The fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers own the NFC South. That team, that division, they don't stand a chance against us. We beat the Brady and the Buccaneers. Yesterday we beat the Saints. We still have Carolina. We still have Atlanta. I like our chances in those. A couple of the things that people were a bit concerned about, Mike, was some injuries. Of course, Minka was out with his appendectomy, his emergency appendectomy over the weekend. Boz with his groin for a couple weeks. William Jackson III, and also Miles Jack. Now, the story with Miles Jack, a lot of people were asking me, was where was Miles Jack? Well, apparently he had a knee injury. He didn't practice he didn't practice full this week. He kind of took it easy. However, he was listed. He was able to play. If it came down to the defense was on the field all day and they needed him, he was dressed and ready to play. But just because of the luxury situation we had of winning and having to lead most of the game, and the defense wasn't really pushed with their backs against the wall, there was really no need. So that gave Miles the extra week to get healthy with that knee. So you know what? We'll take it. We didn't need him. We got the win. But a couple things, though, Mike, in place of Minka, Boz, William Jackson, Miles Jack, TJ Watt,
yes,
Kazee,
yes,
Matthew Wright, these guys all stepped in, did what it was that they were supposed to do. Real quick, with KZ, now, you really didn't miss Minka out there at all. I didn't thought that as I'm watching this game, there was no point where I thought to myself, oh,
yeah,
Minka
would have made that play.
Minka would have made that. KZ had an interception. You know what? Very, very thrilled with the way that went. Happy to see him back. I'm happy to see him in this lineup. We got him from Dallas. We couldn't wait to see. He was out a lot of the season, so this was a really good chance to see him alongside with Levi Wallace with another interception. So those great plays on defense. But they had to be brought together, Mike.
The only person who can out-holiday you
I don't understand.
After a cup of Dunkin's new creamy cookie butter cold
process, but how the team could, with this guy, one person,
right,
one human being in this lineup, this team plays the defense plays a totally different game. You go from being pathetic, can't stop anything, put him back in there. This defense, it's lights out again. Granted, they are only playing the Saints, but again, it's a team that they put on a schedule in front of us. We had to play it the best that we could. We did. TJ came in. The defense looked like a whole different team.
They were. It was nice to see. Like everyone played a whole hell of a lot better. Everyone except Cam Hayward. He was still invisible. But no, like TJ Watt, you saw it's the Watt effect. Like Highsmith was now getting single blocks. He was able to capitalize 2.5 sacks. Most sacks he's had in games since week 1.
Yeah.
This shows that, how important it is to have TJ Watt in this lineup, because that's freeing up Highsmith. Because without him, he had a decent amount of sacks, but you take away the 3 from the first game, leading up till this last game, it was very rarely he got a sack. Now he was back there getting sacks, causing pressure. We saw the D-line play one of their better games that they played without, I think about 3 weeks ago before Ogunjobi got hurt, they were playing a lot better. And him and DeMarvin Leal, when Leal got hurt, then Ogunjobi got hurt, banged up a little bit. The D-line struggled. But now that Watt's back there, everyone's, Ogunjobi's back healthy. They're playing a lot better. And just that one guy, you saw the pressure that they were able to generate.
Absolutely.
Even when Watt wasn't rushing, if he would drop back into coverage, they still have to account for him. They're still putting a tight end over there, a running back over there that excuse me, to help the left or help the right tackle out. So that just that just messes up their whole blocking assignment because you got to worry about one guy over everyone else, and that just gave that secondary that split second more that they needed to stick with their guys. Like you said, man, there were not that many deep plays over the top because you're getting that consistent pressure.
It's a whole different. You're right.
And like Kazee, man, he also provided a nice stabling, aspect back there. You thought, oh shit, man, we're losing Minka. How's it going to go back there? But hey, him and Edmonds, man, they played like it was like him and Minka back there with Kazee. So it's going to be exciting when Minka's healthy now. Now you're going to have 3 damn good safeties back there. And that's what they were looking forward to this week was running a 3 safety set. And, Minka got, he felt that discomfort later on in the week, and they had to change their defensive plan going into the game, and it worked. I love it.
The thing is, I mean, we took these last few weeks, and obviously for some players, you took half of the season, but we are starting to get healthy.
Mm-hmm.
That is a good sign. I was watching TJ Watt play, and I'm trying to figure out why is he so unique? Why is he so rare? Why does he have 10 more sacks than Aaron Donald over the past few years, 8 more than Miles? And I'm watching him. He just has such a quick first move.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes this quick first move. Once he makes it, he's already, he's on the offensive side of the ball looking straight down the back of the line. And he's able from there to, if the guy's getting the handoff, he's just so long and he's able to just hurry up, make a tackle, grab the guy's legs.
Mm-hmm.
He's not doing anything special. There's nothing that's really standing out beside he just has this real fast first move where he uses his body to get in position. And from there, he has the advantage, it seems like. Now he's in the backfield. He can see what's going on. Do I make the move to go for the quarterback? Do I make the move to go straight down the line to catch this running back who's just getting the ball? He's a real treat to watch. I can't wait. I hope for everybody's sake he stays healthy for the most part throughout his career. But you know what? He puts you in mind of Troy. Every given play, this person is able. It's possible that he's going to make a big play. That's fun. That's exciting, and I'm glad we have him.
Me too. He is fun to watch, and you're right, man. That quick step that he has off the line is so fast. It's not even funny. Just how fast he is. He's a joy to watch. I'm glad he's finally healthy this year. The key with him is going to be staying healthy.
Absolutely.
Throughout his entire career, it's going to be frustrating. But man, just how disruptive he is. And the best part is he was going up against his former teammate.
Yeah.
That was
just awesome.
Yeah.
While we're talking about injuries, now with the William Jackson III, like now that he didn't, he's having the issues he has, we are no longer obligated to send the draft pick to Washington, correct?
Correct. That is what I read. And if that is true, that's awesome because I know it was tied into like playing time.
Yeah.
And if he can't play, that's fine. I believe the Steelers don't have to pay his full salary. It's just like because it was like negotiated, like we're only pay like a small portion of his salary this year. So we're getting this guy, if he comes back healthy next year, because I think he's still under contract, we had to get nothing up for him, get a look at him, it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I'd like to see him get on the field. I hope he is not one of these guys that has a bunch of issues, bunch of baggage that comes with him, which is yet to be determined. But you know what? If we get another able body back in the secondary, I think that that's all more just going to help us. We are sitting at 3-6, 9 games in. We have half the season left. We have 8 games, Mike. Of course, the Steelers won 20-10 over the Saints yesterday. One more thing, we're connected to injuries, Mike. I don't know if you noticed that Kenny did get hobbling a little bit yesterday. It was a minor ankle injury is what they're calling it. He was able to continue to play, and he said he will be fine for next week. So gotta like the fight.
Yeah, I'll just hey, he'll be back as long as we have a quarterback.
I mean, You know what? I got a couple things, of course, I want to go over here, but you kind of had an observation yesterday that you brought up to me that was a bit of a concern. You seem that yesterday, perhaps Kenny may have had happier feet than usual. What do you make of that, Mike?
He did. He had like very happy feet. Like he would have a clean pocket and he'd just immediately start rolling out to his left or right.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you doing? You're rolling into where the pressure is.
Right.
And like they've been putting it out on the broadcast. Like if you're feeling the pressure, climb the pocket, move up.
Right.
That's what every quarterback you always hear is like, just move up into the pocket. Because if you go to the left or the right, that's where the pocket's collapsing for the most part. Why would you roll into pressure? It's like he was feeling pressure that wasn't there. When he should have felt the pressure, he didn't feel the pressure. He just like his pocket awareness yesterday was, to me, felt off. Very, very off. The worst I've seen from him play in like I'm sorry, how many quarters has he played now? Because we don't count games for Kenny.
About 20.
Yeah, it's 20 quarters. He's like a little baby. It's 36 months old baby, not 2.5. No. Kenny Pickett, every other quarterback, if they're rookies, like, well, they played 3 games. Kenny, it's down to quarters. Like he's a little infant. We gotta make sure he's all right. But
He did
no. Hey. He played 108 quarters in college, plus the 20 he's played here.
Rush the great running back Alvin Kamara, who only had 26 yards on 8 carries. Kenny got 51 on 8 carries.
That's nice. That's nice. He missed wide open wide receivers. He threw that couple passes like he threw to Fryermuth in the end zone. I think he was throwing to the vendors up in the front row. His accuracy was terrible. I'm just glad he did not, we did not have to upgrade the number on his jersey for picked off. So that was good that we're staying right there. We're good. He did have that nice little rushing touchdown, but his throws were just way off. His pocket awareness was way off. They won despite him. He didn't win the game. He didn't lose the game, but if they were going to lose, he would have been the reason why, because some of those throws were not great. He did have he had that nice throw in that tight window in like one of the first 2 drives, but after that, man, he was just not that good.
Yesterday, obviously,
it was a step back for him, I felt.
Was a running day. I think that we could all agree that, we had 217 yards rushing. I could hardly believe that and don't get me wrong, I don't disagree with everything that you just said, so keep that in mind. Kenny going 18-30 with 200 yards passing in a day that was a rushing game where they ran the ball for 217 yards. I didn't think that Kenny played the worst day. I thought it wasn't as good as some of the previous starts. He ran for 51 yards. He threw for 200 yards. He scored a rushing touchdown. It wasn't the worst, but it isn't what you want to see from your quarterback. You want to see a little bit more progression in those other areas. But again, we weren't forced to throw the ball 50 times a game like we have been the past 6 weeks. The running game did help, did step up. As a matter of fact, one thing about this running game, Mike, apparently the Steelers had more rushing yards in the first quarter yesterday than they had over the first 15 minutes of a game since 2018. 2018, more rushing yards in the first quarter yesterday than the first quarter of a game since 2018. But it was, in fact, a big rushing day. I was very proud. I was very proud of Najee. Najee put together 20 runs, 99 yards, 5-yard average every time he touched the ball. And then as far as our receivers, let me just give you a rundown. As bad as Kenny, as great as Kenny did not look, our receivers finished like this. Deontay had 4 catches for 63. Warren had 3 catches for 40. Muth had 4 catches for 36. Pickens 3 for 32. Sims 1 for 15. So it wasn't the worst day ever. It was exactly, if you recall what I said it was going to be. This was the game that you were going to start to see a little bit of a turnaround, and you're going to start to see things get a little bit better each week. And I recall last week saying you're going to start to see the line play a little better. The line played a little better. You're going to start to see the running game get a little better. The running game got a little better. There weren't drop passes. There weren't things, it is because of who we're playing, of course, but things are going to keep improving, I think, little by little for us. But throughout the rest of the season, not going to Super Bowl, probably not going to the playoffs. But again, if having a respectable season is a thing, that's what I think that we're going to thrive for. And I think we're going to do fine. My one question about the running game: why don't we do this? Now, this was something we did early on in my life, and I don't even want to call it a power thing because it's not. But I noticed other teams like San Francisco now. They always have they put another back in the backfield. Why don't we ever go with that fullback anymore? We do have fullbacks on the team, but we never go with that Tim Lester. We don't ever go with that bus driver. We don't ever go with that, that having that fullback hit the hole first or get out there just to get an extra body on a guy to give the tailback a little bit more of an opportunity. Why do you think that is, Mike? Why do we not use our fullbacks like that? We have them.
It's just the way the league has gone, and Steelers aren't the only team. It's like just about every team has a fullback on their roster. You just don't do a lot of I formation runs anymore. It's the way the league has gone. It's more of a passing down, 3 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and 1 running back out there. That's just the way the league has gone. It's the way the game has progressed.
We carry multiple. I mean, we have who's back there? T.J. Watt. What's his name? Derek Watt.
The one Watt brother no one cares about. The one brother who thinks he's actually
Watt?
good.
Yeah.
The one who thinks he actually is a good player and is not. It's the way the league is, man. No, you just don't. You have to be. It's all about scoring, fast-paced offenses, getting a lot of points, explosive offense, and the fullback out there, power I formation, 3 yards, cloud of dust. That's not the NFL anymore, man. That's not football. Football now it's the pass game. It's a passing league now. You run to set up the pass. You don't. That's what it is now, man. It's not.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Like once you get to the playoffs, you need a good running game. You don't need a great running game anymore. It's all about scoring points, man.
Well, I'm saying don't build your team around your fullback. I'm saying have a handful of plays that you could go to in situations on a 3rd and 1, a 2nd and 3, where you throw a fullback back there. I mean, you're going to run it anyway. You're going to bring in your one of your. You're going to put an extra tight end, whatever. I just don't understand why that you don't see it at all. That's what bothers me at all. Certain situations would require, in my opinion, to have that extra blocker for certain things, and and like you said, I mean, the league just doesn't do it anymore. I mean, would it hurt, Mike, for them to have it in their back pocket and maybe every once in a while use it?
Like they use it occasionally. You see it here and there, especially when they get down the goal line or like a 4th and 1. Every once in a while, you'll see them come in there, but it's just not needed anymore. You really don't need them.
Right.
I don't know. It's the league has moved on.
Now, you may not need a fullback, Mike, but you do. If you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, you do need this one thing. And if you even debate me on this, I swear I'll remember punch you in the head. This team, Mike, they need to win. In order for them to win, they need to have these lucky pigeons on the field.
Yes,
in Acrisure Stadium, in order to win.
They
haven't won a home game without those pigeons being on the field. Every time they were there, we won. They MVP pigeons.
They beat Tom Brady.
They beat Tom Brady.
They beat Andy Dalton.
Beat Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket.
Without the pigeons, man, the Steelers are lost.
Yes.
I like when I saw them on the field in like one of the first 2 drives. I'm like, oh, I knew right away. Boom.
Yeah.
Victory.
This game
we have won. We've won. We've won.
And that also, Mike, by getting that win, that gives Mike Tomlin a victory against every single team, the 31 other teams in the league that he's played. There's not one single team that Mike Tomlin does not have a win against. Kudos to you, my man. Great job.
I like it. I like it. It's another thing that his haters will use. Does this really matter?
Right.
Like, yes, it does matter.
One thing I caught funny, Mike, was the other day when they were still, the worst team in the league 2 days ago. Cordell Stewart. I found this funny. Cordell Stewart makes the comment, "Give me a chance to be the expert in this team's turnaround. Basically, let me come in and be the what's the word I'm looking for? Not the leader, but the just the position that kind of gets people, head right in the locker room, I think." What do you think about Cordell Stewart? And I don't know to what capacity it was said. I'm just reading his quote. Cordell, you think he can turn the team around?
Come in and be like a locker room leader type guy?
Locker room leader type, yeah.
Hey, we'll take what we can, whatever we get at this point. Hey, he did take us to the AFC Championship game, a couple times as a player?
Yeah.
He knows what it's about.
97, 2000.
Yeah, he knows. So let's bring him in. Like, what's the worst that could happen? We get worse quarterback play.
Right.
So I will take anything at this point to help my
I
Stellars
wouldn't
out.
mind Cordell hanging out at the practice facility and giving some tips.
I like it.
Of course, the ex-Steeler in a loss, Mike. A loss. We're keeping track of what the Bears are doing this year. Of course, with the trade with Chase Claypool going over to the Bears last week. The Bears lose 31-30 to the Lions. It's a team that I wouldn't take, and I probably still will never take. But of course, they win when I don't take them. The Lions did win again 31-30 over the Chicago Bears, and Chase Claypool finishes with 1 catch and 8 yards. Mike, he didn't get that opportunity here in Pittsburgh to showcase his talent, so he's going to Chicago to do that, and he had 1 catch, 8 yards.
And he ran a grand total of 5 routes. That is insane. You trade a second-round pick for this guy who thinks, and you're thinking, okay, we're going to use him for big plays downfield, another big body receiver for our quarterback, and let's not use him. Let's not use him at all. Either that says a lot about negative about Chicago or about Claypool. Like this is.
I think they're perfect for each other. I do.
It is, yeah. For biggest letdowns,
they have no expectations in Chicago.
They don't. They none whatsoever.
Mike, tell me about Jerry Tillery. Jerry Tillery. Now, he's a defensive tackle that popped up in my stream that said the Steelers should go after this guy. If you want to Google him real quick, it's Jerry with a J, last name Tillery. They said he would be a great supplement to our defensive line. We could get him off the waivers if we wanted to. Do you know anything about Mr. Tillery?
I have no idea about him.
Okay. It was just a name I seen popped up in the...
2 days ago, it looks like he signed with the Bears.
With the Bears? Oh, jeez.
Or no, maybe signing him would fit in. I don't know a whole lot about him. Let's see. He played... Oh, yeah, he was the former first-round pick who was just cut. That's right. Okay.
Is that what the big deal is?
Yeah. He doesn't have great stats.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
I just jotted the note down. I see the name.
Because I know there were a lot of first-round picks cut the past couple of days. I saw. And...
Ain't getting it done. People need to, run a business, I guess.
Yeah, and like the Baltimore's coach, San Diego's coach said it had grown increasingly apparent that the team and the defensive linemen were no longer compatible. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not. So either they didn't like the way he played, or his play style didn't fit them, and they just hey, we're not going to adjust anything for this guy. We're just going to waive him, let him go. A former first-round draft pick. You couldn't even trade him at the trade deadline. This team does need. We do need defensive line help, but is it worth bringing someone in who just cut halfway through the season? If you can sneak him in onto your practice squad, if he's still practice squad eligible, give it a try.
If you don't have to go out of your way to get somebody like that, you know what I mean? If
you don't have to, you don't have to make a roster spot for him. Don't do it. Keep an eye on him, keep tabs on him, see what happens in the off season if he's still available.
Mike, also, you did mention earlier in the show about the turned upside down AFC East.
Yes.
Let me give you a quick rundown of what the standings are in the AFC East. Excuse me. The Miami Dolphins sitting in first place with a 7-3. The Jets with a 6-3 sitting in second place, and I believe they just got the head-to-head against Buffalo last week or the week before, so that puts them solely in second place, while Buffalo sits in third with a 6-3 record. And not far behind them, New England, who's usually at the top of the game in the AFC East. They are in last place, but they are only 5-4, sitting at 1 game behind Buffalo. This division is just as wide open as anybody's. I thought this was Buffalo's division to lose, and look at this, huh?
And Buffalo is they're 0-2 in their division. 0-2. That is not the way to start.
Yeah.
Your divisional play. I thought it was going to be them and Kansas City. Now, I don't know, man. Jared Allen. I always call him Jared Allen for some odd reason. Josh Allen did. Oh God, he led that drive. I'm thinking, all right, my man's going to lead them to victory, or at least kick that field goal, get a tie, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, who was he throwing to on that interception?
I walked out of the room. I went to the restroom. They were down there about to do something, score in some capacity. I walked back.
Yeah,
the
you were
guy's
gone.
running around with the ball in his hand with the Minnesota helmet on.
Yeah,
but you know what? He looked frustrated. Minnesota looked a little bit better than I thought that they were.
Oh, very much so.
You know what? I wouldn't be too upset if I was Buffalo. If you walk away with that loss, you know it could be a lot worse. Again, though, 6-3, you got 8 games left, a lot of time. I still think Buffalo wins this division.
No, I think it's Miami's to lose.
Does Miami go up north to play a lot though? I mean, do they play in New England? Do they play at New York? Do they play at Buffalo down the stretch? Because I think those are going to start. It's going to start taking a toll with the weather change. There's been snow in the Midwest, in some of these northeastern states.
Yeah, they're at Buffalo on the 18th and at New England on New Year's Day.
Okay.
So they still have two games later in the year that cold weather could be a factor.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still taking Buffalo. I mean, there's got to be a couple more things that happen before I change my mind on that. They're just kind of having a little down part of their season. That's acceptable to me. You lose 2 in a row against 2 pretty good teams, Jets and the Vikings. So I'm not losing my feel for the Bills. That's my squad for this year. I think that Josh Allen's going to do fine.
Yeah. Well, I'm right now looking at like point differential. Miami 252-4, points against 241. Buffalo 254, 151 against. Yeah. So it's
Buffalo's a better all-around team.
Yeah, they're a better all-around team. Miami, it's like if you saw it, if they don't have Tua,
right,
they're not going anywhere. But I still think it might be theirs to lose, man.
I tell you what, Mike.
But it's only one game. It's only a 1-game difference.
Yeah, a lot of season left. One more thing before we jump over to picks, Mike. Juju, did you see the hit on Juju yesterday in the game? He got knocked the fuck out, man.
I did too, and it made me chuckle. And then the people go, "Oh my god, poor Juju!" Yeah. But yet when he did that same hit to Perfect, everyone's like, "Yeah." I thought it was funny. My man got the shit knocked out of him, and it made me laugh.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's okay. I don't want to see him, dead and dying. But
you're a spectator, you're a fan. If you want to laugh, then you know what.
For as much as no, I don't. No, he got knocked the F out. It was kind of funny to me.
Let's hop over into the picks, Mike. We do got to knock this out here. What I'm going to do the same as last week. I'm going to put the 5 games that we had bet against one another aside.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do the other team scores first, then we'll come back to those and figure out where we stand. So the first game I have on my list here, with the exception of Thursday's game, we'll put that behind. Then Sunday morning, the 9:30 game, Mike. The 9:30 game was Seattle against the Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle was who we both took. We thought that this is a no-brainer. Bucs stink this year. Seattle's got they've been having a pretty good season. However, the Buccaneers win 21-16.
Ooh.
Another one we thought we were the smart guys in the group.
I know, right?
We both choose the Bears, Mike. A Bears team. They just get a new receiver. Their quarterback's finally playing well.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing against the hapless Lions. And we both took the Bears. We both lost 31-30, Mike. 31-30.
Not because of Justin Fields, man. I watched a little bit of that game on and off online, and some of the plays he was making, like, kid's going to be something special.
Yeah, absolutely. Third game, Mike, we have the Browns at the Dolphins, which I think is an interesting game. I mean, you got the Browns in there. They're doing some different things this year. And they're sitting where we're at 3-6. But you know what? This kind of game has just been like with every game against the Dolphins and against the Jets and against those teams that have these kind of wild, overachieving seasons. I was a bit intrigued by this. Both Mike and I took the Dolphins, and the Dolphins did beat the Browns 39-17.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question that they were going to win. They're just that much better than Cleveland. Cleveland is not that good.
No. Another one, Mike and I both took the Giants over the Texans. We both take the home to win on that one, 24-16.
My New York Giants.
Mike's New York Giants. Another one that both Mike and I took the same team. We took the Chiefs over the Jaguars, and we both got the victory on that, 27-17.
I don't think there was any doubt that Kansas City was going to win that game.
No.
Like, if they would have lost, that would have been
That would have really fucked up my my pick down the road. Cowboys at the Packers. Cowboys at Lambeau, Mike. You and I both took the Cowboys. We both were sure that this team was going to take out Aaron Rodgers in his poor play. But this one is another one that went to overtime, and the Packers, Mike, the Packers beat the Cowboys 31-28.
I loved it. I forgot who I took in that one, and I was rooting for Dallas.
Okay.
So I got lucky.
Yeah. And then, of course, last night, the Sunday night football game was a pretty good game between San Francisco and the Chargers. You know what? This was another kind of game that was kind of intriguing to me. I'm liking what the 49ers are doing. They made some pretty good pickups, and like I said, they are going to be one of my teams in the playoffs. Chargers, they were supposed to be a lot better this season. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened to Herbert. He got hurt early, never really took any time off, but you could tell his throws are definitely not okay.
They're not okay. He's missing like two of his better wide receivers as well. So, and this whole San Diego's a team I always watch every year just because they are so close.
Yeah.
But injuries always seem to happen to him. If not injuries, something stupid pops up along the way.
They're a team that can have a franchise quarterback for 50 years and just not get it done.
Yeah, like you go from crying Ryan Leaf, who was, he was pretty Ryan Leaf. I mean, Philip Rivers, that dude cried in one too. To Justin Herbert, you think he would do all right? And it's just
and he'll run out of bounds with the game.
The Monday Night Football game tonight. Washington does travel to Philadelphia, so check that out. All right, Mike. So we have 5 games. I won the Thursday night game. I am up by 1 in this week's picks. So let's go ahead and get started on these. Let's first. Mike took the Denver Broncos. I don't know why, but he did. He took this. He had this confidence that kind of threw me off last week. He goes, I want the Broncos. I said, you know what? You could have the Broncos. I'll take the Titans, and that worked out for me. Titans did win 17-10, so that puts me in 2 games, Mike. 2 games.
Yeah, like at one point, man, I was winning.
You were winning.
I was winning. They were up 10-0.
Mm-hmm. Another one of the games is the other overtime game, Mike, from the weekend. The one of the best games, I thought.
Oh God,
was the Vikings and the Bills. Mike, for whatever reason, no, we know why. The Minnesota. We've been talking a lot about the Vikings. Mike did take Minnesota, and I took Buffalo, and Mike got the win.
I took that one only because I thought, like everyone did, that Josh Allen might not play. So I was like, all right, that's definitely going to get them over the top, Minnesota. And turns out that they probably would have been better not playing Josh Allen. No, but that game was wild. Like we turned it on. It was like the fourth quarter going on, like that last 2 minutes. That whole thing at the goal line and everything was just nuts. Minnesota scores. No, they take it off the board. The Buffalo holds. Josh Allen fumbles on a quarterback sneak. Then he throws the game-winning interception. It's like, what is going on?
It was a good game. Like I said, that gave people a lot better of a chance to understand what Minnesota is bringing to the table.
Like Justin Jefferson had two of the best catches of the year. And that one that he had when he jumped all the way back, one-handed like this, is looking back like you're like, okay, it's going to be like an Odell, George Pickens type thing. But then you add in the fact that he ripped the ball away from the defender who could have just cradled the ball.
Right.
He just ripped it out. That was one of the best catches I've ever seen. And, we watched Randy Moss in his prime. And that's saying something.
Speaking of Randy Moss, we let the Raiders and the Colts. Mike chose the Raiders. I took Jeff Saturday, the new interim coach, in the Colts this weekend, and the Colts did. They finished off the Raiders 25-20. So that puts me up 3-1 with 2 games left.
Oh, this is not looking good. I think I lost.
Tie. If you win the last 2 games, you go to the tie, and you do have the tiebreaker. So
I do have the tiebreaker. I forgot about that. Yes.
What's that?
I forgot I won the tiebreaker coin toss.
The game that let's go to the Cardinals and Rams. Now you chose. Mike, you chose the Cardinals, and I went against the Cardinals because of Kyler Murray and his video game habits. But it doesn't even seem like Kyler Murray was the guy. I guess
Colt McCoy came in and played. Apparently, Kyler Murray was still grinding, trying to level up all of his weapons in Call of Duty, and I don't blame him because that shit is a grind. Priorities, baby, priorities. Football will always be there. Call of Duty will not.
So, Mike, you took that one home. Mike, you got the win. I have 3. You have 2. And this comes down to the very last game of the week, which is the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the New Orleans Saints. I don't ever not take the Steelers. This worked in my favor heavily. Mike went against the Steelers. Mike chose the Saints. I took the Steelers. Of course, was 20-10 Pittsburgh, and that ultimately is what gave me the victory this week. However, I have to say it was a hard-fought victory, and this week I'll try to not be as obnoxious with the crown and in my majestic ways.
Yeah,
so.
If you start that shit, I will drop you from the stream until you're done.
But I get one. I get one.
Okay, you get one. That's fair. That's fair. I'll just let everyone know that. Golf clap. Golf clap.
And there you have that. I enjoyed that as much as I do every
you
single time.
You only won because you were a typical Yinzer homer.
Yes, see? But that was good picks.
So you're 3-6 on the year with your Steeler picks.
You know what? I was doing okay earlier before we got the crown, but we weren't really paying much attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Once you had something to finally play for, you started taking it more serious.
Yes.
Yeah. I want you to go back to just picking opposite of what I picked. That was so much better for me.
I know. I kind of went with a different strategy. I started doing my team first, where before I waited to see who you picked, and this has been working a little bit better because
you're not influenced by
right.
Yeah,
right.
That's
more my.
I get it. I get it. That's
opposed to going off.
Yeah.
So that's been working. Mike, let's hop back over. You ready to hop back over and maybe get into some news?
News.
Man who inspired Steven Spielberg's The Terminal dies inside the airport he called home for 18 years.
That sucks.
Yeah, imagine. Yeah. I never
that really
read
sucks.
The Terminal. I've never.
I didn't watch it. I didn't do nothing with it, but I knew the story just because hey, it's a Tom Hanks movie. How can you not know it?
Exactly. Also, Mike, woman arrested for allegedly stealing $22,900 worth of perfume from a Pittsburgh area mall. It was 73 bottles from Nordstrom's. $23,000 worth of perfume.
That's like what, 4 bottles of perfume?
It was actually 73. It was 73 bottles.
Jesus.
But she did get busted and she did get arrested.
Like, come on now, stealing perfume. Like, if you stink that bad, just get some body wash, get some soap. Steal something like a necessity, not perfume. Come on now. Like, that's something where, like, if I see that happen, yeah, I'll let someone know. But if you're stealing food or necessity, I didn't see shit,
she
bro.
Literally stole about $25,000 worth of perfume, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
that's they were building that case for a while because normally take the stuff, we'll document everything, we'll wait till you get a felony.
Diversify.
They just kept going. They're like, well, let's just see what this chick can do.
Diversify, for fuck's sake. Steal something else.
I know, right? Don't keep going back to the same place because if you keep getting
your theft portfolio is terrible.
Yeah, because if diversify your bonds, yo. Wu-Tang Financial.
Mike, Wendy's is selling their first ever holiday Frosty. It's a peppermint flavored Frosty. Mike, are you gonna try this?
As you just saw Fat Guy face get all excited. Fuck yeah, man. I love me some peppermint. I love me some Frosties. Oh yeah, boys. They're about to start knowing me.
I did read last week they were going to introduce something this week as far as the holidays went, and that is it.
Like, why didn't we start the show with this? Fuck the Steelers, man. I want me some peppermint. You buried the lead like 50 minutes into the show. Come on.
Let's see. Mattress Mac. We spoke about him a little bit the other week. Yeah. I think one of our
listeners brought him up. Yeah.
Or said something about Mattress Mac. I wasn't sure who this person was. However, Mattress Mac carried $10 million in cash in a wheelbarrow to his private jet after winning the biggest sports bet in history.
That is not. I forgot to check to see if he won, and he did win.
Did $10 million, dude? Can you imagine having so much cash you have to put in a wheelbarrow?
That's nuts. But didn't he bet like $7 million to win 10?
I think
some shit. Like, this is just like rubbing. Like, you're lucky you didn't get robbed,
right?
But shit, man. I would say. I'm going to sit here and be like, oh, I want to do that. Fuck yeah, I would. I would have like all ones. Just I want 10 million and give me 10 million ones.
Babe Ruth's glove sells at an auction for a record $1.53 million. And it's one of them old ones. It looks like the hamburger helper hand, basically. Yeah. And I seen it, and I think the previous one was one of them other Yankees. It was a lot. It was something 100,000, something. Babe Ruth's glove, $1.53 million.
That's insane.
Yeah. I wonder what he paid for it back in the
day. like a penny.
Nickel. Yeah.
Fuck him.
Oculus. Okay, get this one, Mike. This one is interesting.
Okay.
Oculus founder, who was later fired by Facebook, created a VR headset that can actually kill people in real life if they die in the game. It literally explodes. This Oculus headset. And I'll read that one more time while Mike tries to pull it up. Oculus founder, who was later fired by Facebook, created a VR headset that can kill people in real life if they die in the game.
That is insane.
No wonder they fired him.
Right?
You've got people with headsets on blowing up. Their heads are blowing off their shoulders. I think Johnson down in creative got to go.
Yeah, you got to let that guy go. You don't want to buy that. I wouldn't even trust it. I wouldn't even try it out.
No, I wouldn't even put it in not kill me mode because who knows? It might kill you anyway.
That's insane.
I did see a cool commercial for the football game, Mike, for one of the these headsets, the VR.
Yeah,
it looks pretty badass. I cannot wait to get one of these things.
The idea of tying your real life to your virtual avatar has always fascinated me. You instantly raise the stakes to the maximum level and force people to fundamentally rethink how they interact with the virtual world and the players inside it.
Pretty wild.
No, I play those games to when you can be good or bad. Just go in, one run through, be all good.
Yeah.
Another one, just okay. Let's see how bad I can be, and then I'm doing all this evil shit. I feel terrible. I don't need to die in real life to have consequences for my actions. I feel like a piece of shit when I go in there and start killing people indiscriminately.
I'm gonna skip that game.
Yeah. That's like when you buy and have a friend over, like, hey man, play this one that you don't like, and just see what happens.
Yeah. Finally, Mike. Today is National Pickle Day. National Pickle Day, Mike. I know you love pickles. I know you love. It always seems like it's something with these pickles, don't it?
I fucking hate pickles.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people don't like pickles.
I'm not a big fan of.
You got the pickles day. You got pickles town, pickles bird, pickle ball.
Yeah,
all of a sudden the pickles,
I'll eat them. If they're on. I don't go out of my way to get them.
Yeah.
I'd rather eat relish than an actual pickle. It's just if they're on a burger that someone made for me. If I go to fast food and get a burger and it's on there, I'll eat them. But for the most part, if I can not eat them, I avoid them. It's not something I seek out.
No.
You walk around, you'd be at festivals and you see people with a fucking just a pickle just gnawing on a pickle.
Right.
Or my side, you can get this, that, or other. Oh, I'll take a pickle. No, why? Why? Pickle's not a side. Why don't just go eat a fucking cucumber then at that point?
What makes people think, oh, I want a pickle?
Right.
Never in my life have I ever thought to myself, oh, I want a pickle right now.
Me either.
And that, Mike, is today's
The News.
It's exciting as always. And that takes us, Mike, right down to the final part of the show. It's the trivia of the day. And, of course, for every week, everybody knows that we do How Well Do We Know Our Enemy? And the trivia questions this week are going to be about the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals, because that is the team that the Steelers play this weekend. Mike, we did earlier this year have trivia on the Bengals. So I'm gonna throw you a loop. I'm gonna throw you a softball here now. The questions that I'm gonna ask this week, they may or may not be questions that I asked you last time.
Okay.
So it might be something you're like, oh, I remember that from last time. But since we do play them twice, I don't want to really get into the really hard stuff that nobody knows.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you that there. So, are you ready to do some trivia, man?
Let's do some trivia.
All right. I think you're gonna do well this week.
I hope so.
All right, so here we go. Mike, what is the nickname for Paul Brown Stadium? What is the nickname for Paul Brown Stadium? Go.
Like, the only thing I know is like those big escalators. We call them the escalosers because every time we seem to play down Cincinnati, they're losing in the fourth quarter and everyone's going down them. Fucking Paul Brown Stadium. What the fuck? I got an answer. It's not the right answer, but I got an answer, and I think it's pretty funny. Not as funny as Kenny Pickett's performance last week or yesterday.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a year or so. Bank the equity down.
I think you got to think a little more traditional. All right, put your pencil down. So you have an answer. Let me read the question one more time before we get your answer. What is the nickname for Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati? Mike, you say the answer is what?
The Brown Eye.
The brown, the brown eye. I like it.
Yes, I am very mature.
I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's some brown eye for you. So that is your final answer.
That's
You're going to go with the brown
final
eye.
answer.
The Brown Eye Stadium.
The Brown Eye Stadium.
Let's lock you in.
Lock it in.
All right. You're in place. All right, Mike, what is the nickname for Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati? Mike says the Brown Eye. Let's see if that's correct.
Oh, that's some bullshit right there. I was robbed, ladies and gentlemen. I was
Unfortunately,
robbed.
it was very close. But again, the question, everybody listening, what is the nickname for Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati? And the answer, of course, is the Jungle. The Jungle.
Oh, bullshit.
But that's all right, Mike. You got 4 days left to get back on it. I think you're going to do well this week. Hopefully, you bring us luck like you did last week with the Saints. I recall you had a pretty strong outing last week.
I did. I think I only missed one.
And it carried over. It carried over to the field in pigeon form. Mike, you want to tell everybody about the website, brother?
TwoDumbYinzers.com. Head on over there for everything you need, Pittsburgh-wise. Or Pittsburgh-wise. For Two Dumb Yinzers wise, it's over at TwoDumbYinzers.com.
And there you have it, everybody. And we are here every day from Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Please continue to keep checking us out in the show that we do this particular day. Every day will get uploaded to Spotify at 8 o'clock in the evening if you just want to listen in podcast form. Mike, you have anything before we take off today, sir?
Let's go Steelers, baby. Let's keep it rolling.
Absolutely. I think everybody in the town's feeling that way today. For Mike, Ryan, the Two Dumb Yinzers, let's go Steelers.